It's cosmic vinyl with Cosmic Brian. Better wear your mind shields 'cause he can see your soul. It's cosmic vinyl.
Russians by night, we both wonder why the world is split in two. Russians by night, we both wonder why the world is split in two.
Vinyl community YouTube.
She was living under sex, Russians by night, would give no man time to relax. Russians by night, hanging around my surroundings, watching all the sound copies, couldn't keep myself.
Love it. Love it. Welcome to Cosmic Vinyl. I am Cosmic Brian, your host. Yes, I am the alternate member of the Fantastic Four. I'm a cosmic superhero, motherfucker. A wannabe, anyway. Oh man, it's the weekend, and I'm so glad you're here, Cosmonauts, because I've got a killer video. As promised last week, in last week's video, I'm gonna show my Exploito Psychedelic album collection, or what we sometimes call psychsploitation or whatever. It should be a fun one, man. I got quite a stack here, so it should be pretty cool. And here's what we're listening to now. These the Psychedelic Unknowns, man. Love this, man. Basically obscure psychedelic singles compiled into this series. Love this series. Always pick those up when I see them, man. And speaking of Psychedelic Unknowns, these records that I'm gonna show are definitely Psychedelic Unknowns because they're all session guys who rarely were credited on the album sleeve or liner notes. So yeah, it's a mystery. In fact, one of the only cats that does get recognized as being part of the Exploito Psych scene was one Jerry Cole, who's been friggin' banging out guitar on so many albums, totally uncredited. But yeah, if you go online, you can find. I feel for the guy that has to put together a compilation of all of Jerry Cole's work because it's out there and it's hard to even nail it down and confirm that he actually played on those albums. But this should be fun, man. I'm looking forward to this one. Been looking forward to it all week. So yes, let's get this big chug rolling, man, so we can I'm drinking the rocking the Modelo here, the Modelo Dark. Trying to change it up. Modelo knocked Budweiser off the top as the top dog, top selling beer in the United States, which is, who cares? I like Bud, I like this too. So don't have an opener though, man, or it's not a twist off, but I do have my trusty opener here. My Bombshell Poison Ivy. Haven't shown that one haven't used that for a while, since back in the old fluorescent days of the old cosmic realm. Gotta be careful with these, because if you get that foil in your mouth and you bite on it and you have a filling. No! Oh, look out. Yeah! Alright, so pull up a beanbag, grab your cold swill, and let's knock this back. Hoist it up, toss it back, and let's get the party started.
Oh, yes, my good friend, of course.
Oh, that was so good, I almost wanted to drink the whole thing. Ooh, look out, we got alligator. Woo. Jesus. Haven't shown any of my toys for a while. All right, so let's get it on here, man. I got to get these mind shields off, and let's get to the wax. Here we go. Woo! All right, let's get this thing going. You guys don't want to keep seeing me goof off. So these two I kind of debated about showing, but they're both from the same label. But I thought I'd introduce them anyway. This is a little DRAGGIN and SURFIN, and it was released on Modern Sounds in 1965. Modern Sounds being a label that did a lot of these, not just Exploito Psych, but they cashed in on anything that, any kind of music that was popular of the time. And this is not great, man. I mean, it's okay. It's just like a cover band. But yeah, this is supposedly credited to a band called the Jalopy 5. Cool band name. But yeah, man, check out the artwork. The artwork's actually pretty cool. If I seen it again, I'd probably pick it up just for the artwork alone, having not heard it. But it's got like tracks like Drag City, Hey Little Cobra, Fun Fun Fun, Dead Man's Curve. It's average at best, but yeah, I thought I'd throw that in there since it is an exploit. And this one I still laugh every time I pull this out, which isn't very often. And this is from Britain with Beat. And look at these guys on the cover, man. They are literally wearing painted mop tops. So yeah, they took the mop top hairdo to a whole nother level. In fact, it looks, to me, it almost looks like this is the same guy. Each member is the same guy, like print shop. I don't know. Probably not, because I'm sure they didn't print shop back in 65. But yeah, Modern Sounds, this is probably their most notorious and most hilarious one. Again, not good. Lots of covers of like Beatles songs. This one has I Wanna Hold Your Hand, Tobacco Road, Can't Buy Me Love, 8 Days a Week. Got little Stones on here with I Can't Get No Satisfaction. It's a beater. I think the Perch grabbed this one at a like a flea market, and it's so beat up and scratched that it's not barely even playable. But I keep it around for videos such as this. So there's not good either, man. Neither one of those. So now we'll get into the real psychsploitation stuff here. Got the Ventures, Super Psychedelics. Pretty damn good, man. This was released in 1967 on Liberty Bibbity Records. Yeah, this is like your usual, like the Ventures' usual, like surf stuff stuffed into like a paisley shirt. Jesus. But I like this, man. I play this one occasionally. It's pretty fun. I believe this one was released on, I already said the Liberty label. It's got a gatefold. I mean, they went to the trouble of making a pretty killer packaging here. I'll give you the full effect of the outside cover. The cover definitely sells it. It's just like any other Ventures album, man. It's pretty good. I dig this, man, actually. It's got a list of all the Ventures albums on the back, man, that I use as a resource if I'm going to pick up any more Ventures stuff. But yeah, pretty cool album. And here's one you don't see very often. This is, I think I got this from Psychedelic. I think I bought a record from him and he sent this along as an extra. This is Apricot Brandy and Albatross. By the John Bunyan's Progressive Pilgrims. I actually kind of like this. It's called The Sound That Sent the Pilgrims on a Trip. You've got the mandatory tripped out cover of a band playing there that is not the band that plays on this record. This was released on in 1969 on another big Exploito kind of cheapo label called Allshire Records, who did all those other Exploito albums like 101 Strings series that they did. But yeah, this is way better than I thought it was gonna be when I knew it was a Psychsploitation record, but I gotta tell you, this is a pretty entertaining listen, man. You got tons of overdriven organ, you got fuzz guitar solos. I mean, that alone is worth the, whatever these things cost these days. There's the back cover. You can tell these Exploito albums, the back cover, they look like those old early 60s covers. But yeah, pretty cool. And great cover, of course. Apricot Brandy takes me back, man. Me and my friend in junior high, he stole out of his dad's liquor cabinet a small bottle of apricot brandy, and we were drinking it. First it tastes like cough syrup, but we started loving it, man. And next thing you know, my friend is puking his freaking guts out, man. And I had to fucking try and ride him home on my bike. Jesus Christ. And I'm talking bicycle, by the way. Oh, man. Just brought that apricot brandy, brought that memory flooding back into my memory banks. Here's our first Jerry Cole outing here with Psychedelic Guitars, released in 1967 on another pretty notorious Exploito label called Custom Records here. But this is neither psychedelic. I mean, it's a little bit psychedelic, but this is just another cash-in. Surf, psych, rockabilly kind of vibe to it. Not great, but if you're into collecting Exploito psychedelic albums, you gotta have this one. But yeah, pretty cool record. I think there's a part 2 to this as well, like a second release. And then I think this is another Jerry Cole driven album here. This is Guitar Explosion Electric Underground, released in 1967 on Premier Records. Now, if you were to walk into a record store having not known anything about Exploito Psych or anything about Psychsploitation, you've seen that, you'd think, oh my God, that looks pretty cool. I mean, you've got like a pretty cool cover here, kind of like gives off a psychedelic trippy vibe. But this is neither a guitar freak out or explosion or anything. This is more like jazzy kind of rock. Stuff sounds like it's from like the early 60s. Not a great one, but if you're an Exploito psychedelic album collector, you gotta add this one, man. It looks like I paid like a tenner for it, so no big deal. This one's on the Premier label, which I'll show you here. These labels are no great shakes. They're just basically plain one color with just black print. But yeah, Guitar Explosion, the Electric Underground. It always had cool names, at least. Here's one that I never see, and this one's a pretty beat up cover. But when I seen it, I had to have it because look at the old masking tape. It's sticking up there. But I had to have it because you never see it. This is Taylor Swift's new album. No, I'm just kidding. It's not Taylor Swift, but it is T Swift and the Electric Bag. This is actually really friggin' good. I really like this, man. Released in 68 on the Custom label, which, did I show you that? This is a little bit jazzed up version of the Custom record label. But yeah, man, actually pretty cool. First side It's called Are You Experience, and the first side has the Jimi Hendrix Experience cover. It's not bad. The instrumental stuff on this is probably the best stuff. I like this record, man. Even though it's beat to hell. Again, you've got the stuff on the back here. Let's see if there's any Exploito albums on the back. Oh, there's the Psychedelic Guitars Part 2 right there. I think it's like a yellow cover when it's in color. But yeah, this is a cool one. If you're gonna pick up some Exploito Psych stuff, this is one definitely to pick up. And then I just got this one not too long ago, actually a couple months ago. This is Electronic Music to Blow Your Mind by. I actually think I've seen Stereo Steve show this on a video not too long ago. I think it was one of his psych adjacent videos. And go over and check out Stereo Steve, man. He just broke 200 subs not too long ago. The guy should have 500, man. He shows some interesting records. He's got a little gopher friend. What more do you want, people? Jesus. But yeah, this is a cool cover. Look at that. Every time I see that, I think, is that John Lennon? Jesus. From Yellow Submarine. Got the round glasses, the crazy the fishtail mustache. But yeah, look at the psychedelic mind explosion there. But yeah, this is released on Design Records. Again, like I said, nothing too crazy there. Just released in '68 on that Design label. Tons of organ on here, man, with lots of like trippy sound effects woven in. And around this time, they were starting to experiment with like stereo, so you do have a lot of like bouncing back and forth between speakers, which is, I dig it, man. But this is kind of more of like a bluesy lounge music infused with trippy psychedelic sound effects. It's pretty bizarre, but I dig it, man. And this is probably one of my favorite Psychsploitation records right here. There's the back there. I think he's gonna pork her, Dad. No, Russ, he's not gonna pork her. Yeah, Dad, he's gonna pork her. Jesus. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Name that movie if you can. And this one I just got like 2 weeks ago at a local record store, and I couldn't believe how great a shape it's in. This is Psychedelic Visions by The Underground. Another cool cover there. Released, I believe it was 67 or 68. This is on the Mercury Wing record label, which is just a little bit different than what I've been showing here. But this is full of like garage psych stuff, psychedelia, lots of there. It's pretty much all covers, but it opens up with Count 5 Psychotic Reaction, which actually is a pretty good version of it. And then you've also got everything. Every title has the word psychedelic in it. Psychedelic Dreams, Psychotic Vibrations. It's got We Ain't Got Nothing Yet on it. It's got Mind Jammer, The Warper. But yeah, this is definitely, if you're into Exploito Psych, this is definitely one to pick up. Yeah, I dig this, man. I was looking in the liner notes to see if there was anything cool in there. Some of these liner notes on these Exploito Psych albums are funny as hell. Like this next one I'm going to show you. Speaking of Psychotic Reaction, this is the album Psychotic Reaction by The Fire Escape. This was released in 1968 on Crescendo Records. Rumor has it that Sky Saxon from The Seeds and Mars Bonfire from Steppenwolf actually made appearances on this album, and the recording of it. I also read that that is a total fabrication and never happened. I never know what to believe about these because it's like the bubblegum rock thing, man. They're made up bands. They're just session guys. And there's people churning these out. This was just total. These albums were totally recorded to separate, psychedelic heads like us from their hard-earned cash. But this is definitely one worth paying for, man. I think in the production of this, Kim Fowley was involved in it, which doesn't surprise me. But yeah, there's something funny here in the liner notes. There's a story about two record producers that showed up in New York City looking for this secret gig that the Fire Escape was playing that night in a club called the Gutter, and they were spent. It says they spent $50 in cab fare and found the Gutter. Located in an old building that used to be a speakeasy in the 20s. As they knocked on the door, a little window slid open and an eerie green light emanated. Throbbing in the distance, they could hear the weird sounds of a far-out sounding group. They came in and sat down and seen that the band was taking 5. And then it goes on to talk about how they talk. There is no band. This story never happened. It's a total fabrication. But this also opens up with Psychotic Reaction. Then you've got Talk Talk by The Music Machine. 96 Tears by Question Mark and the Mysterians. It's a good album, man. Definitely among the cream of the crop of Exploito Psych records on the red label, Crescendo label there. And now for the granddaddy of all Exploito Psych albums. This is the Animated Egg. This is called Guitar Freak Out. Look like the cover that you normally would see for Animated Egg. In fact, this is the cover, the release cover on the album. But this is kind of a compilation of like Jerry Cole's work. It's a double album. It's got the full Animated Egg album on it, and then it's got an album's worth of other like Exploito groups that Jerry Cole played with, including the Generation Gap, T-Swift and Electric Bag, which I showed earlier, the Projection Company, Stone Canyon Group. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, man. Lots of information about Exploito Psych and about Jerry Cole's contributions to rock and roll. Yeah, I love this, man. Picked this up for a 20 spot at a record show. It's probably when I first got back into collecting vinyl. Now, the rest of these I'm going to show rather quickly. These are just bands that don't actually exist, but I want to show them anyway, because they are kind of Exploito Psych. This is Crazy Elephant. They had a hit off of this called Gimme Gimme Good Lovin'. Got this from Bill Young, good friend. Rest in peace, my friend. But yeah, this is I love this, man. I file this in my Bubblegum Rock collection, which is all Exploito. Most of the bubblegum bands like the Ohio Express were not real bands. They did have the recordings were done by session guys, and then there was a touring band. So I guess there was a band, but it's not the guys that played on the record. I love this record, Chewy Chewy by Ohio Express. And then this one was, the only person I've ever seen do an Exploito Psych video was Dave, the pickup artist. Did one about a year or so ago. And I remember him showing this album, The Road, another kind of exploitation. I think probably maybe, I don't know, a fabricated band. I'm not sure. There's some sort of Exploito or Psychsploitation connection here. And then you've got Jerry Cole played on this. This is the the inner sounds of the id.
Empty and cold. I played with toys and little boys and sang.
I love this record, man. This is friggin' great. Picked this up at Gold Pan Records across the border into Illinois. But very cool. I'm going to whip through these rather quickly. I didn't even know that this was an Exploito record here until I seen a video with Mark at, Take 4 is his channel. Check him out. But this is the American Revolution. Very cool on the Flick Disc label, which is, totally awesome label. And then, not sure if this is actually exploitation or not, but this is Goldenrod, and this is 3 guys, studio musicians. It's all instrumental, all garage psych, super, super killer. They didn't put out any other albums after this, so I threw it in there. And then, of course, the Strangeloves, probably a real band, but with a friggin' totally made up story that they were like sheep farmers in Australia when all these guys were probably from New York. But pretty cool record, man. I love it. Just some kind of examples of Exploito Psych rock bands. So that's it, man. Exploito. I just like saying Exploito. Exploito. I'm going to exploit you for your views and likes and comments. I wouldn't do that to you. I love my cosmonauts. All right, guys. Stay cool. Stay cosmic. We'll catch you next week. Maybe. I'm thinking about maybe taking a week or 2 off, man. I need to get some shit caught up around here, do some yard work. These videos for me and the Perch, it doesn't just, we sit down, do a video, and we're done, man. It takes pretty much all day to put it together, this stuff together. So, anyway, love you guys, man. We'll catch you next week. Have a good one, man. Peace.